My life has definitely given me an abundance of perspective, highs and lows. And that's why I feel like I'm able to see things like on a grander scale. With wrestling, it's been a lifesaver for me. Like, I wouldn't have anything without wrestling. Each person has their own little spark or their own little something inside of them that they can do amazing things with. And it's, for right now, with wrestling, that's that little spark that's inside of me.
So this weekend we're taking off. What time will we leave?
We're leaving at 1 on Friday.
All right, so 1 on Friday. We're gonna sit Nahshon this weekend, just so you guys know. I want to give him a little bit of a break. A lot of guys have had breaks, so we want to give him one, and for his weight, so he's nice and fresh. So understand that. So we got to make up some points. That's about it. Today we're gonna go hard this morning, do our hard lift this afternoon. And all week we'll be going 2. We'll train through this weekend, and then taper back next week. And I'm sure by that time you'll be ready to taper back. All right. So that is it. Let's get warm.
I didn't know anything about sports at all. I didn't even know wrestling was a sport until like 7th, 8th grade. My mom wouldn't let me wrestle. We were very, very sheltered. Yeah, we couldn't do anything. But I asked my mom if I could wrestle. She said no. So I started sneaking to practices with my friend. And I enjoyed it because I didn't have to rely on anyone. If I thought I was better than someone, if I thought I was stronger than someone, then if I lost, then it was on me. I didn't have to rely on this person to throw the ball or this person to make the goal or do anything like that. And it might be a little selfish, but I knew that whenever anything happened, I could have some control over it. I had control over whether I really lost or won. And I like that aspect of it. My dad was not around when I was a kid. He was mostly absent for most of my life. In 7th grade, he passed away from pancreatic cancer. Yeah, so it's kind of weird. Maybe he wasn't there anyways, but what is that? It's a mixture of you don't know what you have till it's gone, and not knowing what something is like because you never had it. I never had a dad growing up, so nothing changed for me. It saddens me, not for my own sake, but for his. He's just missing out on a lot, He had his own stuff to deal with, though.
Guys, we're gonna warm up a little technique real quick. A couple things we want to work on. When the guy's stepping in, turning his hip in, all we're gonna do, arms are coming back, head's going in. Here. Schultz was amazing with this technique. It was optical illusion. You'd feel the arms coming back. Just here. All right, time it. Just with your partner, you're into wrestling. Boom. Feeling him stepping, coming towards me. Boom, right there. Arms come back, he feels like I'm moving backwards. Head, boom, right? Real simple. We haven't gone over it, but I knew 2 or 3 guys could have hit that this weekend. On 3, 1, 2, 3.
I remember we were in first grade. The police came to our school and they took me and my brother from our classroom, and our mom had been taken to jail. You know, first it was gambling, you know, and then, you know, drinking, and then it was other stuff, and then all of a sudden, you know, back into drugs. And I remember my junior year, right before, like coming up to the state tournament, just like crying myself to sleep because I was like, who the heck is that, you know? Even as a young kid, I knew something was wrong. I knew she was not doing right. And you can have everything in the world, but if you don't have your priorities, if you don't have like things in order, then it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. So she lost the house. She lost our house that we grew up in, the car, all this stuff.
Feel it coming. You know, some of those guys are jumping, tightly, real hard. All Chris is doing. We haven't gotten right over the elevator. Just get me in motion. Get me on my butt. Chris is fantastic.
After high school, everything kind of started changing. My brother is probably one of the most talented people I know. He got caught up in a lot of just drinking, a lot of alcohol, a lot of that kind of drugs, that kind of thing. And he almost drank himself to death. I just couldn't leave him there though. And I went against everything that everyone told me. Any mentors in my life, fiber my being, like Coach Cole, they said, do not bring him out here. I brought him out. I just couldn't live with not knowing, or I couldn't live with him, something happening to him and not having tried. So I did, and it got a lot worse. I was just sleeping in my room, and the cops all of a sudden this cop is just all of a sudden in my house. I'm like, what the heck? And it just was bad. My relationship with the team suffered greatly. By my sophomore year, he was out of the house. He was out, and I had to get him out of there. It just broke my heart. I had learned that, dude, you can't. If people don't want to change, you can't change them. You can't do that. They have to want to. They have to want to change. And as much as I, would try to talk, through things, it didn't help. I'm waiting for a phone call that's gonna tell me that my brother is dead. I'm waiting for a phone call that's gonna be like, your mom is passed away. She overdosed. You just gotta prepare yourself for that kind of stuff.
Nahshon has struggled from the day he's gotten here. Academically, it was a big transition. Financially, he's incredibly critical of himself. And he's a young man who can struggle with self-esteem issues and where he is in life. And yet, he's gone through every single one of these struggles and he's come out flying colors. Every single time he's had a roadblock put in his life, whether it's family situations or economic situations, housing situations, he's found a way to not just to survive, but to thrive.
1, 2, 3, national champs!
I that the best thing I can do for my mom situation is just, and for even my brother, just love them. Love goes a long way. Love goes a heck of a long way when you have nothing else.
He knows what he wants in life. You know, he comes here for a reason. He comes to Cornell for a real reason. Some of these kids have a fallback. They have a safety blanket. He's got no safety blanket. He needs to be successful. He can't afford to fail. He's doing everything he can to make sure he's successful in life.
That's why I like wrestling so much, though. It's not about you and your body like telling you what to do. You know, you have power. You have willpower. You have like your mind. It's just will. You know, and I think there's sometimes, you know, and I'm not an expert. I don't have all the answers and stuff like that. But you gotta want something. You gotta desire and want something, and then you gotta just make those changes. You know, you can make any kind of excuse in your life, and I've seen people make excuses all throughout my whole life, right? And it doesn't get you anywhere. It's my job to check on people, make sure everyone's doing the right thing, everyone's chill. When I was in 3rd grade, I kind of started messing around a little bit, and I started taking lessons, and then stopped because I had to wrestle, and then I've always had kind of just a little passion for it, and I picked up guitar a couple years ago. So yeah, I just always loved music. Gabe gave me this TV. I think this is his old one, and we got a Chromecast, which is really cool. Yeah, I don't know. When I got the room, it didn't have a window in it, so I just put a bunch of blankets in there. But yeah, we got a lot to do. It's nice. It's nice. There's a good feel around here. My biggest fear is that I don't get better. That confidence thing has never really been like a thing for me. You know, I'm kind of just starting to get this. You know, I remember going to the All-Star Duel and watching Megaludis and Delgado. Like, I remember talking to my coach, like I was there being Redman, and like what separates me from them? It just goes back to, you know, what do people have that I don't have? What do you have that I don't have? You know? And so I was watching them, and Coach Hahn goes, you know, nothing separates you from them. Like, oh, okay. It's a no-brainer. Cool. All right, so let's do this thing.
NCAA Finals. Oh, snap! Garrett comes in quickly, blows through Delgado. And there's the escape. Jesse Delgado earns 1 point, so he's in position to score. All he needs to do is pop his head. No, he doesn't need to pop his head. Jesse Delgado will have a 3-0 lead. Delgado backs to the edge yet again, takes a knee. And now they're going to go stalling. 1 point is 3-2. And 3, 2, 1. Jesse Delgado does it again. Fighting Illini, crown a champion at 125 pounds. Final score with the riding time, 3-2 over Nahshon Garrett of Cornell. Jesse Delgado is now 2-time NCAA champion, and he's still got a year left. But believe me, folks, these two will meet plenty of times again, and we're likely to see a rematch at some point in the 2014-15 season.
I did everything I freaking could. He's freaking good at doing what he does. That's off. That's it, Good job, buddy. You did good, And then it was just about making sure that he doesn't do that again. You get better. You get better at it, And every time I've wrestled, Delgado, it's gotten better, gotten closer. And like I said, you can only, for me, you can only get better. I'm only getting better, and that's just, I might have a slump here or there, in the year, but in the end, you're gonna see the best of me.
Pick it up. Let's go.
It's about the journey. It's about the process. Yes, it's awesome when we can win national titles and beat up on people, but there's a whole other part behind it. Moments you'll never forget. Things you're gonna go through that no one else may have ever been through in their life. Most people that you will ever work with or ever be with will never have experienced the things that you've experienced before. It's amazing. It's an amazing life. I have everything I need. I'm wrestling for the school, and I'm only gonna get another year, to put on the singlet and represent this awesome school. I have it all.
I don't think I have any stronger relationship with anyone on the team. I think he's someone I can be brutally honest to and with, and he knows it's always because I'm looking for his best interest. In a weird way, he's got a great deal of confidence. When he's on the mat, he knows that he's as good as anybody else, and he can beat anybody. And I just feel like he's like my little son I from California never had. I'm very, very proud of what he's done, and really excited for what he's going to do.
1, 2, 3, Nahshon Garrett!
I am who I am because of where I came from, what I went through. Never forget where you come from, because you forget that kind of stuff, then you kind of forget who you are a little bit.